And welcome to another edition of the Thursday Throwdown. I am your host, Giant918, www.acfl.net. Follow us on Twitter at ACFL Football. Follow us on Instagram at ACFL_Atlantic Coast Football. Please welcome my co-host, Jim Flanagan. Flanny, what's popping over here? Lots of things happening here. Week 5 recap we got going on. We got predictions for week number 6. And we still got the same old fucking website. What's going on over here, Flanny?
Woo! That's right, Giant. Thursday Throwdown. We're here live, man. I'm supporting the second gen T-shirt here, courtesy of Mike G. Shout out to him. Yeah, we recaps. We got predictions, Giant here as always. And as always, I will be monitoring that chat. Any comments, suggestions, shout outs, questions you may have, I'll bring it on the show. Let's get things started, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of annoyed, fellas, so I apologize if there's any audio issues on my end. I'm very used to hearing in my ear with my Bluetooth device. Unfortunately, my Bluetooth device appears to have contracted AIDS. It is also possible that there was an update to GChat as well, the app I am currently using that we perform this show on. And with no further ado, we're going to go with the 8-man flag, the prestigious 8-man flag league over here. And not much to say with this first 2 games. And All-Stars absolutely winning easily against the Monstars. But the Monstars putting up points this week. So I am very proud of them, Flanny. What else can you say here?
Yeah, no, they definitely a lot better than they started the season off. We put 20 points up against the All-Stars is an accomplishment in itself, So a team that's learning, a team that's, first year here in the ACFL, and not bad so far, man. And they got a big matchup coming up this week, but All-Stars perfect, 4-0 as expected, as predicted. These guys are rolling, Giant. Now it's the time here. Week 6 coming up. This is when they turn it up. It's going to be very hard to beat these guys.
Now, I want to give a quick shout out to everybody that's joining us in chat as well over there on YouTube.com. ACFL videos on YouTube.com. Make sure you click the like, comment on the videos. A lot of the videos up there as well, Flanny. So we appreciate all y'all in chat over here live with us as well. Just another quick side note, fellas. I'm not going to be around next Thursday, so we might have to do a pre-recorded show, unfortunately, guys. And I will be out of the state. Not out of the country, but I'll be out of the state for a couple of days next Thursday. So I apologize. It's always love that we like to be out here with the ACFL. Moving along to the next game, we got the Canes versus the Bankers. And the same here. It's not a surprising win, 19-6. The Bankers quarterback, Rojas, was injured in week number 4. And it's the backup quarterback here, Flanny, against the almighty Canes. I mean, how do you even have a shot? The Bankers have been struggling all season, Flanny.
Yeah. I mean, Bankers did put up a pretty decent game here, even with the backup. That backup actually looked pretty good. He looked pretty athletic out there, moved around a lot, but his decision making and the arm is, something that we got to see. But he's very athletic. I know they miss Rojas. I don't know if Rojas is done for the season, or was it just the week? How serious that injury is, but the Bankers need. I mean, not a good season here for them to start the season, and this injury hurts more.
Yeah, no question about it. Just try to keep your heads up, fellas, and quite possibly one of the best games of the week. And surprisingly, over here, the Bulldogs winning only by 4 points, and Smash Mouth with the surprising 24 points. Not surprising that the Bulldogs won, but the amount of points that Smash Mouth scored here, Flanny. Sadly, Smash Mouth is on a 3-game losing streak. But is definitely surprised by the amount of points scored here. Unfortunately, I don't even know if we have any other additional information on this.
I don't, but yeah, I mean, I told you guys, Bulldogs are doing their thing, man. I mean, these guys are playing real good, competitive. They're getting the wins now as well. Yeah, I mean, finally, Smash Mouth got some points on the board, man. They needed that offense, you know. I'll talk about another struggling offensive team later on, but Smash Mouth putting up 24 points on here, but couldn't get the job done. The Bulldogs, man. Anybody got any stats or any recap on this? Let us know, man. But I was gonna go. I was debating whether to film this game or go to Park Ridge. I ended up going to Park Ridge, but this looked like it was a great game out there in East Orange.
All right, and another great game it appears to, and this is one that you filmed, Flanny. So
and we got a couple of the guys in the chat as well from this. Uso players, Mike Bennett there as always, and Warriors number 28 in the chat there as well. So shout out to those guys, man. Go ahead, man.
All right, so this one you got on film. Uso with the backup quarterback got sacked approximately 10 times, maybe even more. And one of those sacks ended up resulting in a safety. Another sack on the punter. That's disgraceful. And Warriors getting a field goal and then a touchdown late in the game to seal it. Very sloppy game here. And, the weather definitely wasn't the best. But both offensives looked horrible over here, Flanny.
They did. I can't say it was a great defensive game here. I mean, the weather did not help at all. You know what I mean? The fact that the Warriors got picked off 3 times in this game, Giant, 3 interceptions, you would think, this game would have went the other way, but it didn't. Uso could not find an answer on those turnovers, and they gave the ball right back. I mean, this was a sloppy game. Warriors made some key mistakes in this game as well. Luckily, they got the win. They only needed that safety, actually, to win this game. But starting the game off right off the bat, Uso kicks the ball out of bounds, and for some reason, the Warriors end up taking a re-kick for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, you're getting a great position right there, right before the first down marker at midfield. Why not take it? I mean, unless you're expecting a kick return touchdown, but that was just a dumb call. And then later on in the game, where they could have just ran the clock out, they were only like 2 yards within a first down range. They decide to throw the ball. I don't know why. They end up picked off, but Uso just could not capitalize on that. Going with a different quarterback, we mentioned their quarterback being injured, I think, back in week 2 or week 3, and could not handle the pressure here. The Warriors brought the heat, man, all game there with the pressure, getting the sacks, and there was not much for him to do out there. I felt bad for the guy there. I mean, he had like 2-3 guys in his face the entire game. So Warriors came in with a great game plan to bring the pressure. Why not against a quarterback that we haven't seen much of on here. Matty Ice was not that great, man. I mean, prior week he was on fire, but this game, I thought he could have made some more key plays. Actually, I think Jules came in there and threw the ball a lot better, man. He picked up a couple of first downs for him, but hey, win's a win here, a shutout win nonetheless for the Warriors. It wasn't pretty, Giant, but they got it. They got the big W here. Uso, I mean, their defense is always every team they play. I mean, they stand out defense, man. But they got to figure things out on offense.
Yeah, right. They got to take those turnovers. They got to make points out of those turnovers, man.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. It was great. Also, I met up with Shauno out there, big Shauno out there. Shout out to him. He was out there to support the team. I haven't seen the guy in years, but just unfortunate for him. I mean, he was in a big car accident, and which is why he's not playing here this season. But he's looking to get back, hopefully 2020 or something. We'll see. I was trying to get him on the show here. Maybe next week. He's a big media guy. Always, back in the day, loves to trash talk, and that's the type of guys we like on the show, Giant.
Yeah, no question about it. Love the trash talking over here, guys. And Uso's still definitely in it, man. I mean, they're 2-2. The point differential isn't that bad. But again, they got to get some more. They got to get some more offense going, or they got to get some defensive scores. If their offense isn't gonna make any, isn't gonna get much points.
On on that injury, it was the Achilles there, the quarterback there back in week 3. So that's gotta hurt, man.
Oh
For
man,
these
the
guys.
Achilles takes like a year, I think. It's a horrific
Yeah.
injury. So thoughts and prayers to the quarterback over there. So we're going to move along to the 6-man flag in the North. And the first 2 games, we're going to go over really fast. Cobras versus the Wild Breed. Cobras just running all over the Wild Breed, 40-25 the final in favor of the Cobras. But shout out to Wild Breed for getting some points over here, Flanny.
Yeah, they did. They put some points up, but still 0-5 on the season. Not a breed team in the past, definitely. I mean, this is not something they're accustomed to. A lot of veteran players on this team that used to winning, but they're 0-5 here. And, I mean, I know they had a tough week here against the Cobras, but, when they're going to turn things around, Giant, I don't know.
I don't know either. Let's move along to the next game. Another blowout. And the Goonies over here absolutely murking the Devenio over here, 40-20, the final. Devenio, I believe they got their first W last week, so shout out to them, but not much of a match against the Goonies, Flanny.
Goonies is a great squad, man. Don't let their record fool you. These guys got some playmakers out there, and a great win here for them. They needed this after a bounce back after that loss prior week, tough loss against the All-Stars. They regained back on the win streak here, and they're definitely a top 5 team. I don't care what anybody says, man, or what the Power Poll reads. Don't sleep on the Goonies. That's what I gotta say.
All right, and
we got John. We got a shout out in the chat there, man. Jets, JET, man.
Yeah, bro, I'm excited, man. Yo, look, fellas. Just a quick offshoot. I'm a big Knicks fan. I'm a big Knicks fan in the NBA, and this is why it hurts me, and I can't stand the way they do their fucking draft, man. Knicks got the worst goddamn record in the league. I don't know if they've ever had a worse record in their history, franchise history, but these fucking assholes in the NBA, they changed the goddamn draft lottery so that the Knicks only have a 14% chance of getting Zion, the next franchise player. What you think Zion in Cleveland is a good spot, man? Does that really make sense to anybody? Zion landing in Cleveland? I don't think so, man. Cleveland is not. You know where it is? You know where Mecca is? MSG in New York City, baby. Okay, so I'm definitely excited about the Jets. I'm really annoyed about the garbage at the front office over there in the NBA. Obviously, the product is better than the NHL, but nobody can compare to the NFL. They got it right, man. You got the worst record, get the #1 draft pick, so you try to build yourself a better franchise. The end. What can I say, guys? Let's move along to this absolute madness of this shootout over here. Just not a shootout, but 95 points getting scored over here. And shout out to Pace Truck Dirt Demons with their first W of the season. And shout out to the Bankers for actually scoring 34 points. But that wasn't enough because Pace Truck Demons scored 61-34, the final over here. And who knows how even they made that many points. How did they do that in an hour's worth of time, Flanny?
No, you got to run
much points.
You got to run the no huddle offense here. Get some, I don't know, interceptions taken back or something. But 61 points. Wow. I mean, there's teams that don't score that in like 3 weeks. So they did it here in one. And but you know what? With the Bankers, we mentioned about the injuries. Rojas not there, and I believe they started this game off with only 5 guys. So you know what I mean. So they picked them apart, man. They picked them apart. Pace took advantage of that. Why not? And yeah, if you like scoring, man, this is a game to watch. 95 points. That's crazy.
All right, next game we have up is the All-Stars and the Bruins. This one was not even that close. All-Stars just opening a can of whoop ass, and their quarterback, Titano, simply on fire over here. Last week against the Goonies, he had 5 drives, 5 touchdown passes. This past week, 7 possessions, 7 touchdowns, and Bruins have absolutely no answer. What are you going to do? You got to try to play some defense here, Flanny.
Yeah, no, they did not. They did not. And listen, I actually thought Bruins going to come in here possibly win this game here, but and it wasn't as close. You mentioned All Stars, Taitano on there. I mean, T's on fire. Last 2 weeks, just tremendous. He hasn't been stopped. He hasn't. Forget about winning. I mean, he hasn't even every possession so far, last 2 games, it resulted in a touchdown. I mean, that's how tremendous. And you got to understand. I mean, right now we're going to week 6. You know, if you ain't beat the All Stars early on this season, it's real tough now, man. Because now this is when they step up. Playoffs coming around. You know, in a couple of weeks, and this guy's just tremendous. I mean, whether it's 6-on-6 flag giant or 8-on-8 flag. The Bruins is a great team. I mean, great defensive team. They played great defense against Cobras in the prior week. So, but this week, no stoppages. You can't if you can't stop a team. I don't care how many points you put up on the board, Giant, but you can't stop a team, man. You ain't gonna win, especially against a team like the All Stars.
Yeah, there's no question about it. This next game, thankfully, this next game was filmed over here. A wonderful game. One of the games this is definitely the game of the week for the 6-versus-6 Flag North, and this one was filmed. Savages went up 7-0 early, but the Bears come back shortly thereafter to take the 13-7 lead. Savages tie it up. Dan Brown then delivers a marvelous touchdown pass to Jim, which ends up being the game winner, 20-13, the final. Not a lot of points scored over here, Flanny, but it sounded like a wonderful game.
No, this was. I filmed. This is the reason why I went to Park Ridge for this game. I knew it was going to be a great matchup, regardless of the poor weather conditions. These guys still aired it out there. Dan Brown had a tremendous game here. And the reason why, and I like the move by the Bears. I like that they've put him at quarterback. Hinting some of the 8-on-8 teams, man. I'd grab Dan Brown right now, man. This is a quarterback, man. This guy's doing a tremendous job. I think he would fit in real well in 8-on-8 as well. Watch this game, man. I mean, the way he plays in this one is just tremendous. I mean, Savages brought a great defense out on here, especially that first half. But he was the difference maker here. And, you know, Jim's a great quarterback too, but he's a playmaker in itself. And this guy's an athlete all around. This guy can play defense, offense, and it just adds in that extra weapon there, I think, him at the wide receiver spot, especially that game-winning touchdown. Watching that play live was tremendous. The way I don't know how Jim held on to that ball, man. I mean, he hit that ground real hard. It's dead turf out there, but, you know. Here's what I saw. I mean, in this game, Savages came out good in the beginning, man. They took the 7-0 lead. Great defense, too. I think they stopped the Bears twice or maybe 3 possessions. But here's where the problem, I think, lied. They got the stop. There wasn't much time left in the first half, and I think they got a bit too greedy. I think they got a bit too overconfident where they could have, I think, ran out the clock and take this into the second half with the lead. But instead, they go for a deep bomb that ends up being picked off, and they give Dan Brown the ball back. And what results on that, Giant? He scores the touchdown, ties the game up. They get the ball in the second half, and he does it again. They score on him again. And at that point, the game just changed. Once the Bears took the lead there, it just felt the Savages were playing more of a catch-up game at that point.
Yeah.
You know, they did score and tie this game up on there, made it 13-13, but then Dan Brown answered right back. There was a little bit of debate at the end. Savages had the last possession to try to tie the game up, whether the interception was there or not. You know, that the ball hit the ground. The angle that I had from mine was very hard to tell whether it did not. The ref on the other side had the best spot, and they called it an INT, and that's the game. But I don't think it came down to that play even. You can't say, you know, on that, because it's not like the Savages scored on there, you know. I mean, they would have had maybe, 1 or 2 more plays to try to still score. But, you know, I think that big mess up in the first half, I think they dominated the first half a lot more, and it was a tie. So, you know, but great game here between this game could have went either way, man.
All right, and so we're gonna go over the South 6-versus-6 flag.
Before we go there, Giant, let me just answer these. When the full game is coming up, I actually don't. The Warriors game is done. It's uploaded on there. I forgot to. I didn't switch it. It's on like private or unlisted. If you actually go to the other site I have there, you could find it there. But I didn't post it on the boards. I'll do so after tonight. It's already done, and then I'll be finishing up the Bears game tonight. So both games should be up. The Bears a little bit later, but the Warriors Uso game, I'll put it up live right after the show. So
yeah, and I do you know why there were only 2 games played in South?
Here's the thing. This week they could not use the Rahway Field, because of the rain and stuff. The parks closed down. But it was great that JT has all these turf fields. Otherwise, this whole week would have been canceled, and then it would prolong the season. But what that meant, these South teams had to come to Bayonne to play. And I think one or two of those teams could not or couldn't field the team there to Bayonne. So they rescheduled that one. I think they're going to be playing a doubleheader either this week or next week to make up that game. That's why the only 2 games. But this week, there was another comment in the Instagram feed there. It will be back in Rahway. We will be back in Rahway this week on there, regardless. So that's not being moved. That'll be in Rahway. I talked to JT prior to the show, and he said we will be back in Rahway. So
all right, cool. Let's go move along to our predictions over here. Eight man flag. Canes versus Smash Mouth. And there's no contest here. The Canes are just going to open a can of whoop ass against Smash Mouth.
I agree. I mean, listen, Smash Mouth put up some points last week, but here come the Canes, 3-1. Instagram got them at 28-12 final, and I like that score as well.
All right, next matchup we got All Stars 4-0 versus the Bankers 2-3, and the Bankers I think, I don't know if this was the 6-man. No, the 6-man only had 5 players. So at least the Bankers, the 8-man, they could actually field a team. But the All-Stars are just so good here. Like, how are they going to even get a chance? I'm thinking the final score is going to be 28-14. All-Stars over here, Flanny.
Yeah. Right now, I do not want to play Taytano, man. He's on fire, and I think he continues here. Bankers just, they're hurt, man. There's a team that, fighting off injuries there. I don't know if Rojas is back here this week. If he is, it'll be a good sign for the Bankers. But All-Stars, definitely.
All right. And we're going to do Monstars versus Uso, man. Look, man, I think Monstars are new to the scene and stuff like that, man. Uso's not going to have a problem over here. It might be a low-scoring game. 20-17. The Uso's going to take this.
Instagram got 12-6 Uso, low scoring game as well. You pick Uso. A lot of guys, I think, also. I don't know, man. I mean, I feel Monsters could come in this game, pull up the upset. They are 1-4. I understand that. The way Uso looked though this past week was awful, man. I'm sorry, man. Mike Bennett. I mean, you guys got to do something, man, because, they did not look good at all. And I think if they come out and looking like that this week here, Monster's going to come up with the win, man. I mean, here's a team, Giant. They found a way to put some points against the All-Stars last week, and I sure as hell think they could do so here against Uso. And if they do put those 20 points on there, I don't see Uso matching that up, man. I don't see that happening, and I'm taking the Monsters here upset, man.
Nice, bro. And the next game is an absolute joke. It's the Warriors versus the Apex Predators, and there is no indication that the Predator. I don't even know if the Apex Predators is going to score any points, man. So I'm going to say 21-0. The Warriors are going to take this one.
I don't know about shutout. I mean, Warriors. I still take the Warriors here 4-1, but I think Apex shows up, man. Here they had a week off as well. They'll put some points up on here on the board, man. But Warriors cannot make the same mistakes they did last week. Luckily they got the win, man. I mean, don't take those damn stupid re-kicks, man. Play better field position game on here, or Apex could run on you, man. I mean, these guys. the last 2 weeks that they've played, they've put points up on the board. So, man, I mean, it's a new team coming in here, but I think they're getting better. I think they're figuring things out here. But Warriors, man, 4-1 here, 5-1. I got to take the Warriors as well.
All right, let's move along to the six-man North. Cobras versus the Bankers. And what can you say? The Bankers are 0-5. They can't even field the fucking team of 6.
Shout out to Banda in the chat. All Stars looking like money, man. I agree.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too, bro. Not much else you could say about that. But the Cobras are absolutely going to obliterate the Bankers. I mean, I'm just hoping that the Bankers can field a team of 6 at this point.
Yeah. Instagram got this score 40-16. And, I think he knows something too.
Yeah.
So.
All right, now this next game might be the game of the week, man. It is the Bears 4-1 versus the Goonies 3-2 record, man. And I think this should be a fantastic game. I think this could be anybody's game, but I like the prediction over here on Instagram. I'm gonna agree with that the Goonies are gonna squeak this one out, Flanny.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is 2 teams here, veteran players, veteran team. This is going to be a competitive game all around, man. And these teams, both these teams play good defense as well, not only offense, man. So I love the Goonies, but what I've seen in the Bears this past week, even in that terrible weather, these guys play great, man. Play great. Dan Brown, man. I can't say enough about this guy. Very smart playmaker out there, man. I mean, this guy does not make much mistakes at all. You won't see him being picked off much. And him against Vic. I mean, 2 veteran quarterbacks here. They've played on the same teams prior to, so these guys know each other, know what to expect. Should be a tremendous game, man. But I'm gonna take the Bears. I'm gonna take the Bears 4-1. Let's make that 5-1.
All right. Next game we got over here is the All Stars 5-0 versus the Pace Trucking Dirt Demons. And what are you gonna say, man? The All Stars are 5-0. They look unstoppable. Now, based on the points that Pace Truck scored last week, you'd think they'd have a shot, and I think they might have a shot against the Bears and Cobras or the Goonies. They might have a shot. Not gonna happen against the All Stars, man. I think the All Stars will win this handily, and I'm gonna roll 35 to I don't know 21. It's gonna be the final. All Stars gonna take this.
I think Pace scored too many points last week. They're gonna run out of gas here, man.
Yeah, they're gonna run out of shit.
But look, man, it's not about. I don't even think who's gonna win here. I mean, can Pace get a stop here? The last 2 teams have not even prevented a stall drive here for the All-Stars. So let's see if they could do that, man. I think if they could do that, get a stop here and there, man, maybe it could turn things around. But right now, All-Stars have not even been stopped. Forget about winning the game, man. So, Shout out to, I want to mention on the chat from the Warriors, he's saying they're definitely coming to play this week. Treat it like a playoff game, man. Ain't taking things easy there against the 0-4 Apex Predators. So.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. I mean, it should be like taking candy from a baby, but we'll see this weekend. And the next game for a 6-man North, this should be another fantastic game. Bruins versus the Savages. This could be anybody's game. No prediction on this one from Instagram, it looks like. But
AJ believes in the karma, John. He doesn't like to pick his team or pick against his team, so we never get a prediction on the Bruins for that reason. But this is gonna be another fantastic game, man. On here now, 2 teams that started off great, and 2 teams that had a tough loss last week, coming in 3-2. One team's gonna bounce back, but the other team is not. I like the matchup here, man. I like the speed here from both teams, but I just think Bruins got the edge here, man. I think Bruins will.
I agree. I agree with that. It's going to be a close game, but I think the Bruins are going to take this one. All right, and this last game, the Wild Breed versus the Venio. I really think I like the prediction over here as well. I think the Venio is going to take this one 21-20, and Wild Breed will continue their fall into the black abyss. So what can you say, man? It's terrible.
You know what, John? I hate taking an 0-5 team, but something gives me a gut feeling here, man. I like the Wild Breed in this matchup. I don't know why, but I do. And Devenio is a team that shows up one week, other week they don't, man. They're very inconsistent on here, and if they don't show up this week. Wild Breed showed some life here last week. They played a tough Cobras team here, so don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Don't come into here thinking 0-5 Wild Breed easy win. It's not going to be easy. I think this is going to be more competitive than the even on Instagram they only got them by 1 point. So I actually like Breed, man. I'm taking the Breed, man. Why not? 0-5 team.
Man,
Give me the upset, man. Give me the straight up
I
money line, Giant, on that one.
Yeah, now I apologize about the 6 versus 6 flag this past week. We didn't go over the 2 games that actually played. So Field Mob still remains undefeated, 5-0. They were close. Ozone was close, but they still lose. So what are we supposed to say? Now they're at 2-3 after this past week. And they're telling Flanny that they had a touchdown late that was called back because of a hold. And this is potentially a game of the year. What, that you lose? Come on, man. Talking so much shit week 1. And you just done nothing but lay eggs. Your second win is against the bag of dicks, guys. And, I mean, this is absolutely disgraceful. And then I also got sources over here, guys, telling me the squad couldn't even get there on time. So their entire squad couldn't even get there on time. And the game started 30 minutes late. And both teams had 5 to start with. I don't know how serious this is. If both these teams continue to do this, they're going to be vulnerable in the playoffs, Lanny.
Look, I got a message from one Dave Alborn after this game. He's like, "Yo, Flanny, you sure came to this game. This was a great game here. You could have captured some good action there." And they wanted to see the call that was played back there. They're complaining about a holding call that was taken back. There was a touchdown, but got taken back because of the hold. But here's the thing, man. I mean, you're telling me this was a great game on here, but then I find out game started late, man. Both of them showing up with only like 5 guys to start the game with. That's not a great game, man. I mean, that's not great. I mean, the score, yes, it was competitive, it was close. They finally did get their players, what I hear. But, look, I messaged Dave prior to last week's show. I'm like, hey, you want to come down to Throwdown? You want to talk a bit about this game? Let's pump it up, man. But no response from it here. And then he messaged me about this, not filming, man. Listen, I'm glad I didn't go to Bayonne, man. I got 2 great games over there in Park Ridge, man. This was their time to beat them, man. They had a great shot here. You guys got to come on time, man. I know it wasn't in Rahway. The field got moved to Bayonne, but still, regardless of that, man, this was a chance. Don't blame it on a call there, man. Don't leave it to the refs. Just like MLB, how he stated when he came on the show here, man. You can't leave it out to that. You got to win. You got to beat them, man. So far, Ozone, they're getting wins in here, but when they're playing these big matchup games, man, like against Field Mob, against Jokers, who else do they play? I mean, they're not getting those wins, so I'm not convinced here by Ozone. Tremendous talent on that team here, man, but what's going on, fellas, man? What's going on here? If you're saying potential game of the year be a game, I mean, you got to win the game, man. If you beat the Field Mob, yes, I would say, okay, man, and people will want to see that game. But you guys lost, man. Who's going to want to see that? The same thing again here, boring. Field Mob winning again, man. I'm not saying Field Mob's boring, man, but I'm just saying, man, they're undefeated, expected. No, there's no surprise here. I'm sorry.
All right, and the other game that ended up going is the 6 just getting their first W. Getting their first W of the year, 24-6 against the Wolverines. Congratulations to the 6 over here. And one guy that dominated for the 6 is Phil, getting 3 touchdown catches and 2 interceptions. Enough said. Do we need to say anything?
Talk about a player of the week, John. We were giving out player of the week awards. No question here with Phil. And listen, man, I mean, 6 has had it tough, man, so far here this season. They had a bye also, right off the start, they had to play field mob, but they put a good competitive game against them. But they finally got the win that they needed, man. And you know, as far as the Wolverines, still winless, Giant. No,
All right, let's move on to our 6-man South predictions. Ozone 2-3 versus the 6 1-3, and I'm not picking Ozone. I'm going to pick the 6 to win this one. 2 weeks in a row, I'm going to pick them to win this as the underdog, 21-20, the final against the Ozone. Is Ozone going to field 6 players?
Giant. Giant, I like how you think, man. I mean, Instagram has Ozone 32-20 on this, and I think a lot of people do. You look at the paper, you look at the matchup. You're 2-3 team against a 1-3 team, a 1-3 team. How can they win, man? Well, prior to this show, Giant, I did a preview show. I said I got a underdog that's gonna win in the South, and it's not the Rebels, it's not the Wolverines, man. The 6, that's right. The 6 is gonna come in here, Giant, man. Ozone still, I think they're still salty about last week's loss. They're still haven't gone over that, and here they come against the 6. They're gonna come in here. Watch, the 6 is on fire, man. I don't think they got an answer for Phil here this game. And here's why, man. Ozone's a great team. They put up points, man. But when they play a great defensive team like the 6, man, they play a great defensive team, they struggle. But they struggle, and they can't find the end zone on there. And then the 6, I think, is going to put up the points that they need to win this game here. I talked to Nelson Tavares of the 6 on here. He feels very confident coming into this game as well in this matchup. I like him as well, Giant, man. I'm putting all my chips in this game, man. The 6, I want to see Ozone prove me wrong here next week. I don't think it's going to happen.
So we're both on board with disagreeing with the Instagram feed over here. We got the 6 taking this game over here. And what could be the game of the week, game of the year, maybe.
And I want to point something out, too, because there was a power poll on there where people were surprised. How is the 6 on the list there at the top 5? They're a 1-3 team here. There was a 10-yard fight team who's also 1-3, and they beat the 6. Well, I'll tell you why this team deserves to be on the top 5, Giant. They won last week, but look at this team. Look at their defense, man. Look at the points against average on here. Next to Field Mob, these guys are tied number 1, man, in the league. And that's got to show something. That's got to prove something here. And that's why I think Ozone will have a tough time here come this Sunday, Giant.
All right. Next game, we got Jokers 2-1 versus the Wolverines 0-4. Jokers easily going to win this one. I don't even know why we need to make a prediction on that. That one's easy. But this next one, and Rebels is the one that couldn't field the game this past week. They got to do a makeup game.
No, I don't know if it was the Rebels or it was. I think it was 10-yard fight.
Rebels only got 3 games played, so it's got to be them.
No, Rebels had a bye one of the weeks, but they didn't.
Know, but
they were supposed to play 10-yard fight, but I think 10-yard fight couldn't field it. I think it was the other way around. But regardless, yes, they only got 3 games. They're they're 3-0, but they're undefeated, Giant. Both teams undefeated here. We're gonna get another undefeated matchup here. I love it, man. Listen. Prior to this season said, I told you guys, mark the calendar on when the Rebels play the Field Mob, because I think this is the team that will give Field Mob the best run out of here, man. I think this is a team that has the best chance to beat Field Mob. Will it happen this week? I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of hesitant on here.
I don't even know if we get cameras there. It's Mother's Day, man. So I mean, we're gonna be able to get cameras this Sunday.
I can't guarantee that. Listen, I want to film, man. It's Mother's Day. It's tough. I wish we had a bye, man. I wish.
Yeah. What are you gonna do, guys? Like I said, I'm not gonna be around next week either. So maybe we'll just.
Listen,
what are you gonna do?
I would be there for Memorial Day. I'll be there for Easter, Christmas, but I don't want to. Listen, one of the years, Mother's Day. It's tough. I'm actually I think on Saturday we're going to like medieval times or something. So hopefully, I mean,
man, that sounds so gay. Tell
us the story about medieval times, man. We want to hear.
Nah, bro, I can't stand it there, bro. It's so deep, dude.
Oh man, but I'll see, man. If I do, maybe I mean, I got the other guy, Brian. He usually does the right way, so hopefully he does. You know, if I do film, I might do something a little bit more local. I might go to back to the roots, back in East Orange, man, this week. So if I do, I'll be up in Paul Robeson. But hopefully we could get Brian. If we can't, I'll see. I mean, I want to film this game on here. This is the game for the South. We didn't get any film of South last week too, but we'll see. It's tough, man. On Mother's Day, you know, I mean, they put up a lot here with us, Giant Man, with the show, with the video editing. So it is what it is, man.
Yeah. So you know, I mean, this is pretty much the end of the show. So I wanted to wish your wifeys, your girlfriends, your baby mamas, if they are moms, want to wish them the merriest of Mother's Day. Even though there's going to be shitty weather again, it's supposed to be very shitty weather. So possible, potential, dangerous conditions for the players as well. So be careful this Sunday, guys. You look at some of these scores, and some of them look like crazy scores with the crappy weather. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but we will see. At the bare minimum, we could go over the box scores next week. Lanny, you got anything else tonight?
Well, what's your pick on the Field Mob Rebels? Did you pick one?
I'm gonna pick Field Mob. There's no.
You learned your lesson, right? You're not going against Field Mob.
Yeah, they're gonna get. I mean, dude, I picked foolishly. Foolishly, I ate crow last time, so you know I don't need to do that shit again, dude.
One last thing. I mean, in the chat there, Lloyd Porter saying they played real hard last week to lose that game in the hands of the refs. He's saying they weren't paying much attention as it was, and for that call to be called. I don't know what refs, because they were in Bayonne. I don't know if they used the Rahway refs that they usually do, or if it was new refs from the north in that flag. I'm not exactly sure on that, but I mean, you can't leave it to the refs. That's what it is. I mean, tough competitive game, yes, scoring wise, but you know, he said they got the call. So I don't know. I don't have a film. I didn't see it, but I heard a lot of talk from not just him, but a lot of the Ozone players telling me the same thing.
All right, guys. So again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. This coming Sunday, make sure you continue to check us out, www.acfl.net. Follow us on Twitter at ACFL Football. Follow us on Instagram at ACFL_Atlantic Coast Football. Jim Flanagan, Giant 918, signing out. Have a good night, everybody.